Good evening and welcome to the What a Man podcast. Again, I am Ty the show, and joining me this evening is T. Hosley, the CEO and founder of Free Smoke. Good evening. How are you, Terry?
How you doing, sweetheart? I'm good.
Good. I was number one. I wanted to say thank you again for agreeing to do this with me. I've been following you for a while, so I pretty much have been seeing some of your posts. But before we get into our conversation, can you just explain and let everyone know who is T. Hosley?
Um, yeah, wow, that's a deep question right at the back, right? I would say, T. Hosley, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, uh, nephew, all those things, grandson and all that, of course. But I like to look at myself as an entrepreneur. I always been a guy of basketball. I'm a writer as well. And I just feel like I'm just like a person that's in a high level of like creative space.
Mhm.
And I'm just still currently, just chasing my dreams as I, live my responsible life at the same time. So
And again, welcome to the What a Man podcast. And let's talk about Free Smoke.
okay.
What is that about?
Well, the free smoke tour is just it's a platform for one-on-one basketball. Just mano y mano, where you got two guys or two girls showing their like high level of like competitive nature. And it's called, free smoke tour, basically, because the tour means, we'll go anywhere. The smoke is because, like just like, the urban slang of like, you want to smoke with me, I want to smoke with you.
Hmm.
And then the free is based off of like the one-on-one background that we grew up on, where it was always for money, right? And
Hmm.
it wasn't taken as serious unless it was for money. So now what I've created is just something to, if you really care about the craft as much as I care about the craft, we can play each other for free, just
Hmm.
like we would play each other for $10,000, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's what the whole free smoke tour thing comes into part. You know what I mean? Just and then also it's a good platform for other players to like start their brand and promote their brand, because um this level of basketball is some players will never reach a higher level than basketball than this. So try to make sure you provide that there and get them a lot of content. And there's so many ways that they can become stars or make money off of this thing here. So
Hmm.
just try to keep providing that space, make it still the most respected league, around the world as far as one-on-one. um yeah, but that's basically what it is though, man. Every once in a while we might branch off and do like a 2-on-2 and everything like that, but the foundations of it and the basis is just like one-on-one basketball, mano y mano.
So how do you recruit the players for Free Smoke? I mean, do you visit schools or is it something that people see online
um
and they sign up for?
well, we don't really do we most 98% of all the players are like grown men, you know what I'm saying? Whether they're like out of school already, they like overseas pros, they ex NBA players or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But it's just all about if you've been out in the field, because mind you, I've been doing this like as far as business wise and like um not just in the streets. I've been doing this since like 2019, as far as like the name Free Smoke Tour, since
Mhm.
2019. So people been in the field ever since then. So
Mhm.
it's like people then raise their stock up where so they can really come over and get a shot, or they might just have the resume that can back it up, you know what I mean? Or guys with like high level resumes vouch for these guys. And we just do we do some looking and do some background checks. Or sometimes you be places. I'm always around basketball, like whether it's just 1-on-1, 5-on-5, or whatever. And then you see things, so you just you figure things out. And then on the business side of things, it's just all about trying to find those people and those matchups that the people really would like to see, that the people is entertained by just seeing it on a flyer that is happening, and they makes them come out. So it all works collectively together.
So when y'all are touring and y'all are doing these games and tournaments and things, I'm supposing that kids show up. So from these situations, do y'all have mentorships where you take the children or teenagers, shall I say, that's interested in becoming, league players, or do y'all teach them the ins and outs of the game and like how to conduct themselves during certain, during the process of, trying to get to the league?
Yeah, I mean, we like, we a lot of us on my side, we do a lot of like 1-on-1, like not, and I don't mean 1-on-1 like basketball. I mean like, 1-on-1 like how me and you 1-on-1 right now, like
Mhm.
so 1-on-1, like just guidance, what I'm saying, just like like just talks, just letting them know about you know um mistakes I made along my basketball journey, like as a kid, coming up,
Mhm.
things that I didn't have in place that they have in place now,
Mhm.
support that they have in place that we didn't have in place. Well, I didn't have, a lot of us didn't have, that's my age.
Mhm.
um and it was it's just it's just tough, what I'm saying, like but we take kids from like group homes, and bring them to the to the events and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, so I mean like per se, we don't really technically like have like a mentorship within the program, but I mean, we do it like collectively, like on our own.
Mhm.
Just recently, we just had an event where it was just mixed with all like the 1-on-1 players all over YouTube and all over the world, and then
Mhm.
we threw in a Baltimore City high school matchup,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
And we always was skeptical with that, just because we don't want nobody to possibly get an injury when they on their way to college and things like that. So it's all about
Mhm.
making it make sense, and then making them understand. At the end of the day, you is taking a gamble. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, yeah.
So
But
I'm
we,
not
I mean, not to cut you off, but we still wanted to let it be known that we still have that opportunity for the youth to
really.
come and participate or whatever. It's just a lot of things in place that you have to understand and get the parents involved so they can all agree. You know what I mean?
Not really sure how familiar you are with the podcast, but for the past few episodes, I've had some Baltimore natives because I'm from Baltimore,
Okay.
and I ask all of them, and I get their opinions, and they're all different. You grew up there, so you could probably attest to it's not the same Baltimore that was Baltimore when you were growing up. It's way different now. Um, what, in your opinion, what do you see as some of the main problems uh, in the city, especially with the youth?
um, the household.
Mhm.
I think the household. I think years and years and years ago, I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like the government put something in place to like break up, especially like the black homes, right?
Mhm.
And whatever it was, like I don't know all the logistics to it. You know what I mean? People got their opinions, but
Right.
whatever it was, it worked.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you got so many households that don't have both parents. I'm not even gonna try to say just not the father, not the mother, because you got some households that don't got the mother in it either. You know what I mean? So many situations where things like have like infested our area and infested our environment, that left both parents being taken away from home, and the kids have to go with the aunt that already got 5 kids, and you know things like that, just made it just tougher, you know what I'm saying. And then also you got um this this thing that was created, called the internet, and it's just like, it's just so much thing, and it's so hard to escape it. It's everywhere you go. Like you try to monitor what your kids watch at home, but it's at school, it's outside, it's just everywhere. So you just gotta continue to try to like provide and like teach and advise, and have that guidance with your children
Mhm.
as much as you can. So keep them like on a straight path, because it's everywhere they go. What I mean, bad influences, and it's just it's just so much, man. So I really think with this generation now, I think it's just um the family structure and the household and then the internet is just like a very bad influence in a lot of ways.
Do you also feel like because back when the community was a family, so because now there isn't really community structure as well, because there are, way back when, if you were in trouble, your next door neighbor could come over and be like, hey, don't do that, and you would
Right.
respect them just as much as you respected a parent. And it seems to be a disconnect of that now. Do you feel
Yeah.
like that's an issue as well?
Yes, I do because when we were growing up, I'm 38 years old. So when we was kids, we got disciplined by our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though, and I remember the first time that happened to me, and I thought like it was gonna be an issue when my mother got home, and it was more so like I got disciplined again. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So it was, but yeah, even not just the discipline part, but it's just the fact of like the whole block was like a family, the whole community was like a family. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, it's just different now. You know what I mean? The respect level is just different. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really solely blame the children. I blame like their foundation. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
foundation isn't good. You know what I mean? It ain't really no type of like leaders in the neighborhood no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't like they call them like OGs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it ain't none of them no more. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's just different, man. It's just different. It's just a very very tough generation to like raise a kid and or like a teenager especially. You know what I mean? Because it's like with the record and everything, and it's just like the level of embarrassment, like the low level of respect, and it's just it's very very tough, man. But if you're a parent, you just gotta you gotta buckle down. You gotta just do it, to your best ability. You know what I mean? You gotta try your hardest. So,
Um,
but to answer your question, I definitely think the lack of like community structure and community like togetherness
mhm.
is also a part of the problem as well.
If you could do anything in your power, if somebody gave you the power and said, hey, we want you to try to put the community back together, what would be some things that you would either do or recommend?
Me, I
Hmm.
would because I'm a sports guy, right? So I try to stay as much as in my lane as possible because I never want to dive into something that I don't really have no expertise at. But what I would do is um I know as a kid staying out of trouble is when you're having fun, right? No
Hmm.
matter how tough a kid might seem or how hard they might act, they can hold it in for so long, but if they having fun, they can't help it. So what
Hmm.
I would do would I would open up all the old rec centers. I would open them back up. Um, I'm not gonna say mandatory, but I would just try to make it a big thing. Whereas though, like kids would go there, like man. Then it'd be more stuff to do, more field trips, more like fun things you can do together with the kids after school. Like you come there, an hour, do your homework and things like that, and then now we can have fun,
Hmm.
and you have things planned out. Like if it's wintertime, we can, we could take trips. We can play these games. We can have these prizes. We can always recognize kids when they're trying. You know what I mean? Not when they
Right.
reach like an end goal, whatever. Just if you see like improvement, what I mean, just acknowledge it. Just trying to be more and more like in their lives and just showing that you care. You know what I mean, more and more and more. Um, on all aspects that you can help with. You know what I'm saying? Because something like that with the rec centers being, that can be opened back up and things like that can be in place. Then you will have some type of connect with like some type of public official, like like
Hmm.
in the state or in the city and things like that. So even if it's like legal trouble that they might have did in the past that they can like fix, we just try to help them in all kind of ways and get them like a straight, like a new start and
Hmm.
things like that. Because some of them kids, they out there and you know, they don't really want to turn to like what they turn to, but it's like you got the level of embarrassment, then you got the level of like no type of guidance or no structure. So it's like some of them don't really have a. I'm not well. You always have a choice, but some of them feel like they don't have a choice. Like this is all I hear. This is my new family. These guys out here, they really love me. And then if you get deep into it, you find out that nobody out there really loves you anyway. So
Right.
that's what that's one of the things that I would do to try to help like get the structure back because that's something that I feel like I could be good at and so
Do you think Do you think the children would be receptive to that? Because again, everything's different now, and the kids are even different. Like you said, it's social media. Like nobody, uh, unless it's a certain age bracket, you never really like see kids outside playing anymore or riding
Right.
bikes and stuff that children do. It's always other stuff. So do you feel like if that was to be put in place, that would they would be receptive to it?
I think so. I think you just would have to like be in tune with like the schools a lot,
Hmm.
so you can kind of like, and the families, if if they're available to like be a part of it, just to see like what they like. You get what I'm saying? Because it's something for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just you also got to have the staff and the people that's willing to do it. You get what I'm saying? Like and I think like grants and things like that can make the people be paid well, because we ain't gonna act like some people wouldn't be in that position, like will be lackluster with it because they feel like they ain't getting paid enough. But if you're getting paid good
Right.
and you care about children, you care about the youth and things like that,
Right.
I just feel like it'd be easier with the small kids. You know what I'm saying? Because almost anything is fun to them, right?
Right.
But
Right.
like with the older kids, it's like, what I mean, like the field trips would be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean? Like I know like a lot of like teenage kids, they would love to go to like, like Atlanta, go like to the trap museum, what I mean, the rap music, like, things like that. You just gotta like, you just
Mhm.
gotta try like to, figure these things out. You get what I'm saying? Like where I work at, I work with like children that's like, it's a residential treatment center, but they've been locked up and they get sent to like a group home or like this program or whatever. And when we take them off grounds, they sit there like, man, I ain't never been bowling, man. I ain't, what I mean, F this. I ain't really, what I mean? But once you get into it and they see like, oh, Mr. Terry having fun, oh, Miss such and such having fun, then they start having fun and they like it. So
Mhm.
then their behavior start to change. They start working towards trying to make sure they eligible to go on the next one, because we don't know what we're going at then. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's
Right.
just like it's going to take effort from everybody. It ain't like it's going to be easy. It's going to happen overnight, but
Right.
it's going to take effort. You're going to have some kids that's not going to be receptive to it at all.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have some kids that try to, frown upon or joke on the kids that are receptive to it. But so it's
Right.
gonna take time. But
Right.
I don't know. Like I feel like back then you had people that really like kid. They did they did the house calls. Like, what
Yeah.
I mean? If something ain't going wrong, they gonna go talk to people at the house. They might have got punched by the parent or anything, but they ain't give up. You know what I mean? We ain't, that's another thing. We ain't got them type of teachers no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't got them. You know what I mean? So it's tough though, man. But I don't feel like we should give up on them. You know what I'm saying? Because they are our people. You know what I mean? We just gotta, everybody gotta try to help where they can. You know what I'm saying? So I try to provide my entertainment for my 5-6 hours, and then try to throw in something that maybe the younger kids are more receptive to. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what I mean, it's gonna be a big process either way.
Right.
I mean, but that would be my lane if I had the opportunity.
So, in regards to basketball and free smoke, in the past few interviews I've done, and even somebody from DC that I interviewed not too long ago, you always got to bring up the people that are responsible, or shall I say, have had their hand in certain situations and left their mark. And one person in particular has come up three times, and that's G.
Mhm.
Um, Rest in peace to G. Uh,
Yeah.
the city took a big loss when we lost G. Um, I know he had his hand in basketball, especially because of his son. Um,
Hmm.
and he was also a basketball star.
Right.
He had his hand in comedy. Um, Pudge was saying how G, kind of brought him in. And I know you and G had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Wanted to know what type of toll that took on you when you lost G.
Um. Yeah. That was probably the closest person. I like what I mean. I lost a lot of close people, but besides my wham on my hand, my aunt Daisy and my mother Sylvia
Hmm.
were like the first two closest people I lost, and then it was G, right? Um, I don't know. We had a lot. Like one thing about G, right? See, he was well, as far as basketball, he was a legend. Like he was a very 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 great basketball player. He did some very very great things. You know what I'm saying? But then
Yeah.
you know like, life took a turn. He did his little overseas thing for a couple years. Life took a turn. He got into like a little bit of trouble, but then it got fixed or whatever. Then he got fat for real, and then he just but he started like instilling that like competitive nature into Jalen
Mhm.
and into Charlie as well. Charlie was into like basketball, dancing, and all of that stuff. So,
Mhm.
but he was and still the funniest person I ever met. And by also I did like movies and stuff as well. Like so,
Mhm.
my thing was, but since me, I was more of the writer, and I knew like he got the talent and he gonna make something hit, right? He
Mhm.
just wasn't the one that's gonna sit there and just write it, right?
Right.
So what I did, I said, okay, I feel like me and G, we can make a newer version of like House Party, right? So I wrote it. I wrote it, and it would hit me hard anyway, but it hit me very hard because I wrote it, and we got the movie cover for it. We got the filming company behind us, and we was set to film, that day after he was murdered. Um, that would have been our first day filming or whatever. So that was like, it was like really tough. You know what I'm saying? We was like, well, we always was together a lot, but that week we were really together like every single day at my house, like right here in this basement, because we were like rehearsing like the dances with like a dance guy. I think his name is Terry. I can't remember his name, but I know it on IG, whatever. He was like teaching us like like how like Gina and Shireen had and Kid and Play had their little dance, like so we know we was doing that.
Mhm.
And it was just tough, so it was tough, what I'm saying? He was like kind of like, letting me know something that was going on, what I mean, not to really speak too much on it, on the
Right.
like details of it, but
Mhm.
um he was like, letting me know. We was like, kind of talking about it, and it was just like it's a sad situation, what I'm saying? But like yeah, that hit me hard, what I'm saying? Like, I put that movie on the shelf, like I never tried to touch it again because I just still can't bring myself to do it. I don't even know who I would try to even get to like replace his character. You get what I'm saying? Because that's
Yeah.
all I would think about. You know what I mean? And it's not like I can't really get nobody to act like him. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's just yeah, that was tough though, man. And, yeah, and the city definitely took a major loss with that. So, but it also taught me like no matter who you are, man, the city love you, but they hate you at the same time. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And and in the conversations I've had, that seems to be a running conversation. And I had even asked, if the opportunity presented itself, um, would you move from the city to pursue a elevation? Um,
Mhm.
some of them said yes without question, and then some of them said no, and then some of them said it would be a hard think. I wanted to know, why do you feel like people feel like if you started something in the city and it goes great, like for instance, I know you said your free smoke goes everywhere, but I'm pretty sure you're pretty known in the city, and if you decided
Mhm.
to ever leave one day, they would probably be a little bit upset with you. Why do people take it like that instead of taking it as, okay, he's leaving to do something better that he could probably, either bring us or bring
Mhm.
it back here and give us the formula.
I think in that sense, if we talking about free smoke, I think they'd just be mad because like they wouldn't be able to see it in person as often. You know what I'm saying? Like without like traveling and things like that, right? And I'm one of those people about like moving. Um, I think it would have to be something very like good. Like I think I would, but it would be really hard though. Like you know
Mhm.
what I mean? I always felt like I just don't want to get that used to nowhere. Like, what I mean? Nowhere else like that. Like, what I mean? I don't know. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, because, being as though like our city is a tough city, there's a lot of, bad things happen, but there's also a lot of good too.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the city that made me, you know what I mean? It made us. So it's like,
Mhm.
that's very, very tough. Some people just be like, man, I just want to get away. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm big, like, on family and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'd be like needing to see my family. I'd be needing to be around my family.
Mhm.
So I mean, less I hit. hit something big, with my business, and I get like a billion houses or some shit, you know what I mean? I could just move the whole family. Then yeah, you know what I mean. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough though. It's tough. And then another thing is like I'm real like my pet peeve. I think weird. I got my weird way of thinking.
Mhm.
So like the disasters that be like in other places, right? No, for real, like like the hurricanes in Florida or like the earthquakes
Mhm.
in LA.
Mhm.
I don't, you know what I mean? It's just like I don't, you know what I mean? Because I can't swim, so I'm terrified of like big bodies of water, right? And it's just like you know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
like little stuff like that. But I mean, no, I know that's like they ain't that's like less than likely to like take your life
Mhm.
like that. But I'm saying like I don't know, man. I just feel like you know what I mean because you can. Now, I will say this, like I definitely, because I mean, I don't live in like I'm from Baltimore City. I don't live in Baltimore City, but like, yeah, I mean, I would much rather like to really get super super successful with my business, and I can just, live like on the outskirts a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just move to something bigger, but I still would want to be like,
Yeah.
close.
So let's talk about free smoke. So you said you had some players in there on the, maybe like league level. Who are some of those players that have been incorporated into free smoke?
Um, who was this? It wasn't on Free Smoke, but I played Brandon Jennings before.
Mm, okay.
He's an ex NBA player.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I got we have something in the works for Lance Stevenson and Dion Waiters to possibly play each other. You got Josh Selby, Baltimore native, ex
Mhm.
NBA guy that might that well not might but he will be on Free Smoke soon.
Mhm.
Um, what I mean, a couple other guys I can't really disclose it yet because like it's contract issues and things like that. But
Okay.
it's it's a lot of things like in the works or whatever. But it's a whole lot of like Division 1 college guys, Division 2 college guys, Division 3
Mhm.
semi-pro. You know what I mean? And like like just like the street stars and all of
Mhm.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like so like we got to a point where as though you know uh not in a negative way, but like just can't anybody just can't play in Free Smoke because it's just
Right.
we worked and we got it to like high level, like got it to be like the most respected one-on-one league. So it's like
Mhm.
you really gotta be like one of them guys, you know what I'm saying, like to really like get on like Free Smoke. And if you feel like you are, but your background don't really say it and we don't really know yet, then you just gotta work your way up to it. You know what I mean? Like it's a couple like little underground leagues and things like that, and we got a lot of people from there. Like, what I mean, we see it, we like, okay, he could be one of the ones we bring him over and they do well.
Mhm.
Don't even necessarily always have to win. Just like you got, you do well, then we like, okay, we
Right.
can market this. You know what I'm saying? We can market this. Like the people love you, like the people like what you do, or I like what you do, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we can try to like, make this work. So
Is there any is it like a Baltimore DC thing, or is it like a rival, or do y'all come
yeah, so it's like it's
together?
all basketball wise, it's always like Baltimore versus DC or DC
Mhm.
versus somewhere. But um we got this thing where so like so say somebody from LA come and they playing somebody from DC, like we going with the DC guy because it's like this
Okay.
home basically, you know what I'm saying? Now when it's Baltimore versus DC, we going with the Baltimore guy, and the
Mhm.
DC guy going with the DC guys, of course, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, but I mean it's like it's to the point now, it's like with this by me doing this many years and we done had so many run-ins, like I'm on my let me see, July was the 40th, so then October 41st. So I just did my 42nd event, like inside events, not
Mhm.
counting the outside ones, but like inside events. I did 42. So we didn't have, and probably like 65, 70 all together when you count just the ones outside, like where it didn't cost anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, so we had so many run-ins with like, DC guys and all that, that's like a second home for me. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
like from like the Berry Farms in DC, like the legendary court they got out there. Like rest in peace, Gerald. Gerald went out there years ago. He was like the first one from down here that I seen went out there. He played against KD when KD first got in the NBA,
Mm,
and
okay.
he went crazy. So I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get out here. So a few years later, I made my mark, got out there, got my name. They called me New Jack City, and then you know what I'm saying. Then I started like building all these like DC friends. So it's like a Now you get people, DC guy coming out here to play Baltimore guy. You might got Baltimore guys in there betting with the DC guy because now it's just like it ain't really like a rival thing no more. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just like unless we put a whole event together and it's Baltimore versus DC. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's just like it just depends. Like we ain't really got no picks. Especially when people want to bet money on the games. You like for your money, you like who you like. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no
Right,
feelings in it. So
right. How was it playing with Brandon Jennings? Was
um, it was a very good experience because when I played him, he was currently in the NBA when I played him, and it was just showing me yeah, like NBA guys are really different. Like
Mhm,
even not like he wasn't Kobe, what I mean? He wasn't Chris Paul, he wasn't Steph Curry,
mhm.
uh, he wasn't LeBron James or Dwayne Wade and nobody like that, but he still was he was like really, really, really good. And it was like one of my toughest games I ever had. Probably the toughest game I ever played in, honestly.
Mhm. Is there anyone that you
And
would
I
like?
won, by the way, just to throw that out there. But go ahead.
Is there anybody you would love to play against that you haven't yet?
Um, you said play again, or you said play against.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was we supposed to been trying to work on something for me versus Isaiah Thomas, but every time we get close to trying to make it happen, he gets signed and he just got signed again the other day for the Suns. So yeah, definitely shout out to IT though, man. Still ain't never giving up on his dream. Like he's still pushing. That's what I mean. Like what I mean, even with his age and how many times people then counted him out, he keep pushing no matter what he keep pushing. But I would love to play against him. I would love to play against uh Mo Hatton is my favorite player of all time from Baltimore. I would, you know what I mean? But he older now, he in his 40s, you know what I'm saying? So I know that ain't never gonna happen. But that was a time that I would love to have play him.
Mhm,
Um is a guy from PG County. He was like a rising one-on-one star, but he's like a one-on-one star now. Uncle School, we I already played him before, but I would play School again like on my way out, like when I'm about to hang it up playing, I would play School again.
okay.
Um yeah, it's a couple guys, man. You know what I mean? Like you got yeah, I don't know, man. And then it's still stars that's like coming up that it might change as it goes on. But I mean, like it was really just like the IT game, the Mo Hatton game, and I probably would play Scoob again. So
Mhm.
what I mean, I'm like 40 games in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm almost I'm almost finished. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be my last year. We currently filming a documentary of my farewell tour. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So depending on how I feel in December, if I'm really going to end it, but yeah, most likely it might be the ending.
So when you stop playing, what do you want to do?
I mean, I'm still gonna continue with Free Smoke though. You know what I mean? I'm just looking for that next star. You know what I'm saying? No, not being cocky, but I do know business wise. I do know when I put my picture and my name on the flyer that I'm playing, it recoups a certain type of response. So just looking for that next person where as though okay, like yeah, we don't even care who else is playing. We know Terry is playing somebody, so we
Mhm,
there. So I'm just trying to build that next star or stars. You know what I mean, like plural. You know what I
mhm,
mean. If I can get four of them, that'd be great. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm,
just working on that. But I mean, I still got I done built relationships because I done did a lot in the sense of like basketball. So I done built a lot of relationships. You know what I mean? And it's weird they call me like OG now. I mean, I can remember when I was like one of the youngest on the team, and now I'm like always like the oldest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now it's like I'm like damn, it's really coming to that time. But um I like by them looking at me like OG, looking at me like the one that like invented these one-on-one leads and things like that.
mhm,
I recuperate that type of relationship where as though I can reach out and I can bring them in,
mhm.
to put on the show and things like that. So
So obviously you've set a standard. Like you said, everybody they look up to you as an OG. So for the younger ones who are, like you said, they're in college and they have hopes to enter the league at some point, um, what are some of the things that you try to teach them? Like what's important as far as going from college versus, trying to go to the
The
NBA.
pros. Yeah, I always tell them. I say the same thing to a lot of them. I tell them like, man, you just keep pushing, man. You don't know how many people that would like, would love switching places with you.
Mhm.
Um, and I tell them to understand that basketball is a great tool. Um, I didn't got like 9 to 5 jobs just off of because of something I did with basketball. Like the job ain't got nothing to do with basketball, but just the relationship I built over somebody with basketball, it got me the job. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's any talent, not just basketball. Any talent
Mhm.
can be used as a tool. Um, and just be thankful that the fact that you got the chance to go to school for free. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know how many people that's struggling because they ain't got no type of support and they gotta pay back student loans. Well, I know they switched it now. You might don't gotta pay them back, but I'm saying, times we was coming up and you know what I mean? Like, but so you get to go to school for free, right? You can get a degree, like you did it for free. All you gotta do is just continue to go and do what you love, which is basketball, right? So um and even when you on that platform, even if you don't go to the NBA, you network. You know what I mean? You network. You figure out what you want to do after basketball when the ball stop bouncing. So you
Mhm.
network. You build relationships, and you just use it. You know what I'm saying? Like so, you know what I mean? I learned how to do that a long time ago when I was very very young. I learned how to use it as a tool, and meaning like it'd be all type of people you run across. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ran across like editors or people that do sound on like I met a dude that do sound on like the Power Show, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And when I needed him for like, sound on my projects, he might not have been available to me because he was too expensive. But
Right.
but he also showed me how to do what he do.
Mhm.
Okay, well just buy these and when you edit, just put it on this. You get what I'm saying? And that's all you gotta do. I'm
Right.
like, it's really that simple. He was like, yeah, but it's just like when you a big time executive producer, you don't want to deal with all of that. So you just hire people to do it, when you got the budget to do it. So I
Right.
was like, oh, okay. So but had I never went to that tournament that day or that weekend, I'd have never met him. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I always use it. Always be willing to talk to people. Don't ever like act like you too good to talk to people because you never know who you could be talking to. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
definitely I tell them. And the main thing is stay out of trouble. Like there's nothing wrong with being that guy that just goes to school and play basketball.
Mhm.
Right? You know what I mean? You don't have to be the guy that plays basketball, but he got all the drugs at the school, he got all the guns. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be that guy. Like it's
Mhm.
still like you're still a cool guy if you just the school and the basketball guy. You're still a cool guy. The
Right.
women still gonna like you. The people, even the guys that got all the drugs and got all the guns, they still gonna like you too. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have to be that guy to be accepted. And
Right.
I think that's another part when we spoke about the generation. They like a lot of people don't know that it's cool to be like the school guy, like the guy that care about finishing school and all of that. It's cool. You know
Right.
what I mean? They still could be your friends, but y'all live in two different lifestyles. You get what I'm saying? Like I got
Mhm.
a lot of friends like that. That we live two different lifestyles, but they're like some of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? But like they don't make me feel like I'm less of a man because I don't do what they do, and I don't make them feel like they less of a man because they can't do what I do. Right?
Right.
We got love for each other because we love each other. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what you doing. I understand your reasons because of your situation, but it's just I look at things differently, so I'm doing things this way. But you know what I mean? You still my guy, or you still my homegirl. You know what I mean? You still my sister. You still my brother. So,
Mhm.
um, I'll just tell them, you know what I mean? Just stay on track, keep chasing your dream,
Mhm.
um, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And try your best to stay out of trouble, and
Yeah.
use your talent as a tool. Like if it take you all the way to the promised land, but if it take you almost there, you still can get so much out the deal. You know what I mean? So,
How important would you say Plan B is? Because anything can happen, and it might not necessarily be trouble. It could be, torn ligaments, or the
mhm.
knee gave out, stuff like that. And some people is like, oh, basketball is all I know. How important is Plan B?
I honestly think Plan B is more important than Plan A. Honestly, because some kind of way the ball gonna stop bouncing,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's just look at LeBron, he played 20, 22 years. At
Mhm.
some point, it's gonna stop though, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, mind you, knock on wood, I hope it just stopped with him just stopping on his own, right?
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, at some point, however it happens, it's gonna stop.
Mhm.
So basketball is never all you know. You just gotta find it. You gotta find that thing that you got to find that other thing that you like, right?
Mhm.
And when you find, that's like me. I know basketball stopped for me. I still can do basketball with my brand, or I can film movies. You know what I'm saying? Or I can just go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I can just go get a trade or something like that. Like if it's, you know what I mean, anything like. But um, you have to you got to have that plan B, man, because when the ball stop, let's say you make you making $8 million a year, so you got this lifestyle that you living, and then the ball stop. Okay, that $8 million a year ain't rolling in, so you still want to live this $8 million a year life.
Yeah.
You gotta, you gotta do something. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. You know what I mean? You gotta have it because a lot of people get in them situations where plan A is the only plan. The
Mhm.
ball stop bouncing, the money stop going up, it start to go down, but they
Mhm.
don't know how to live a regular lifestyle no more.
Right. Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? They
Mhm.
can't come back down to the $300,000 house. They only know the $5 million house. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it's like, hold up, you ain't making $5 million money no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
yeah. Like that's why I really don't understand why everybody like. I mean, of course, I know people like different things, but I always look at it like I don't see why when y'all in the NBA, why y'all don't get involved in TV some kind of way. Like
Yeah.
start dealing with movies or anything. Like I mean, it's because I feel like it's so easy for y'all to get like connected with things because y'all are millionaires. Y'all always in the rooms with these people. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people ain't think about Plan B because they believe it's gonna last like forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Almost. They gonna
Right.
make so much that when it stop, I got so much. Now some of y'all, some of them got so much that it can literally almost not run out unless you just like,
Just be is
yeah,
reckless.
unless you just dumb, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, them people that got 200, you know what I mean, 175 million, and I mean, they got a brand still, they gonna be good, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we talking about them people that make 4 million a year for their whole career, you know what I'm saying? And now when it's over, they got $8 million in their bank, you know what I'm saying? But shit, they got big families too. They
Mhm.
got kids, you never know the situation, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch out for all that.
So, how do you feel about, and I don't know the technical name for it, so excuse me, about them giving, when they're recruiting them and they're bringing them out of college and they're giving them endorsements.
Oh,
So,
NILs.
so how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's a good thing to do or no?
It has its pros and cons. The reason why I like it is because that kid might have made that college coach millions of dollars. He made that university millions of dollars, and then he blow his knee out his 4th year. He never get to play basketball ever again. So he never got paid anything. You know what I'm saying? So I,
Okay.
I just that's the way I be looking at it, right? Also, um, you it encourages kids to stay in school longer, right? I mean, it's the money, but I mean, like, but they stay in school longer and they develop better as players. So
Okay. Okay.
it stops the 1 year college player from going to the NBA where he ain't fully developed and he end up getting
Mm,
pushed off and he end up being a bust because you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
he ain't learned how to continue with that hard work and like keep training and keep training. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though he was that dude his freshman year, so he left, went to the NBA, and he found out, oh, I ain't really that dude yet, but he's still a kid. He's still
Right.
a kid at mine, so he can't really handle like the hard work, and he might got injured. He can't really handle the rehab and all of that. You know what I mean? Whereas though a full college career could possibly help you like learn those type of traits. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um and plus I look at it like, they've been making money off of kids for years. You know what I mean? Where the kids don't really, I mean, where the kids probably got something, but they got it like illegally or like on the sneak. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I like it. Like, you got brands want to do commercials with some of the kids and,
Mhm.
like look at Angel, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what I mean? You got brands, you got rappers, you got like makeup companies want to do things with her. And I think that's dope. You know what I mean? It's also teaching her like, um, yeah, y'all be trying to make it seem like basketball girls are like ugly girls. No, we're pretty girls too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I like it. I
Mhm.
like it, to a certain extent, but I also like it's just pros and cons with everything, man. Because I like the parents to be involved a little bit when they
Mhm.
still like I mean, even though they most of them over 18, but I like, you know what I mean. If you got a good family foundation, your parents will still help you in it. But I just I be the cons to it is just them parents that just like
Money.
that's just money hungry and they just like take it. You get what I'm saying? And they do like cruddy things. So you got that family that do things like that. But I mean, just for the most, but that's with anything, is always a positive and a negative. But I mean, I think it's more of a positive because um it make them play harder. They stay in school longer. They develop better as a player.
Mhm.
Um, they might even learn money management. You know what I'm saying, before they get to the NBA
Mhm.
or the WNBA and things like that. And then plus for girls, I really like it because WNBA don't really make no money. WNBA they make money. They make money like teachers or something. They make like money like, like a cop with a whole bunch of overtime. Like I think they get like $70,000 like the most. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like in Angel, she like make more than that already. So it's
Mhm.
like, what I
Mhm.
mean, it's really like, it's really good for the girls. You get what I'm saying? Now the guys, if you're gonna be the guy, you gonna make money. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
also, what about that kid that just did all this all 4 years? We didn't got to the final four all 4 years. I didn't got my coach a $8 million extension and all of that. And I ain't never get, all I got was a little $40,000 a month,
Mhm.
and then I get hurt national championship game of my senior year, and it's like I'd never be the same, and then I never made millions. You get what I'm saying? But y'all made all these millions off of me.
Right.
So at
Right.
least if you got hurt, you can say, well, shit, I made these 4 years, I made 8 million. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So at least, you know what I'm saying. And then even with that 8 million, you could possibly, if you had a plan B already, you could possibly do something, invest in something where you can, real estate, anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
So
like the NILs, I like it. I wish I can dig in one of these files and see if I got a year eligibility left.
so you've been surrounded by players who have been in the league. Have they ever had this conversation about being a role model? Because um, as a celebrity, anything, you're
Hmm.
held to a standard. But I think what people forget is before I was a basketball player, I was a human being.
Right.
So I'm going to make human being mistakes. But now
Uh,
that I'm in the league, you hold me to this standard. And
right.
then when I make the mistake, it's like, have you heard that conversation before? And if so, how do they feel about that?
Um, I had those talks a lot with a good friend of mine. He actually one of my sponsors, Malcolm Delaney.
Hmm.
He like he just he's like a real good person of uh like not involving himself in like nonsense and like what I mean, like he's like really good with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, I had people in the league that like talked to me, and they had breakdowns where like they couldn't take it, where it was like too much for them. You know what I mean? Like all my life I felt like I wanted to be here. Now I'm here. It's just like it's a lot. Or all my life I wanted to be here. Now I'm here and I'm not playing a lot. Whereas though my response would be, I would give anything to be in your position. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So, just stay patient. You know what I mean? Your time gonna come. And then maybe like 3 weeks after that, the guy got traded to
Hmm.
a team, and he really started getting busy. Like he almost won six man of the year like 2 or 3 times. And
Hmm.
I mean, he ended up being like more well known in the league, and got his like 11 years, got his 10 years in the league, so he got a pension forever. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So um yeah, I think I think it's just all about like who you are as a person, because like your character don't really change. Like I noticed that like your character don't really change. It's just you either just be more humble, or you might just be a little bit more open, or
Hmm.
you'll be more arrogant, or you'll be like you'll be more of an asshole, or like
Yeah.
what I mean. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a cool guy, you'll be cool, and if you're a generous person, you're generous, and you might just be sometimes you might be a little too generous. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Or if you a stingy person, if you get that, then you'll be super stingy. You know what I mean? It's just what I mean. You never know, and it's just like with him, I feel like I use him as an example because I know he knows his role as like a pioneer in the city. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like even when it come down to like not to go super in detail, but just like Gerald funeral, like
Hmm.
he understood that, like he felt like in my position, like I had to do something. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like that's still like a big responsibility too when you like a big dog in the city. Like it's like certain things happen, like they look upon you. And then
Hmm.
also when bad things happen, they look upon you to turn the other cheek or be the bigger person, or not act out like a what I
Right.
mean, not act like another person will act out. You know what I mean? So and then I would say it's all about the people you have around you,
Hmm.
and then it's all about who you are as a person already. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? So if you already is a solid, humble person, then you ain't gonna be nothing but just a higher extent of that.
Right.
And I'm saying he's like a good example of that. Now, even though I'm older, you know what I'm saying, but I still learn a lot from him as far as like business and him like telling, even like like my wife and some of my closest friends, they tell me. I was saying like my wife and some of my closest friends, they tell me like in your position at Free Smoke, you can't be zapping out like somebody do something disrespectful. You gotta respond like a different way because all the eyes are on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I started realizing like these guys that I'm bringing along with me along the journey on the one-on-one and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
zapping out. I'm teaching them like, look, no, check this out. We're gonna win with class. We're gonna lose with class. We ain't gonna do this. So how can I be trying to teach you that when you watching me zap out? You get what I'm saying? So it's like things like that. But I'm saying like my some of my closest friends, you know what I'm saying, like the level-headed ones, right? And my wife, and then like somebody like Malcolm, and like people like that, like Malcolm, like bar manager, people like that, like they talk to me about that, and I listen because I see how they carry themselves, and then, like and they like limelight. Like I had a few conversations with Mello before, not a lot, but a few.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas though, like he like mentioned like some of his mistakes, and he mentioned some of the times where he did the correct thing, and he like reacted to something like the right way. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I only can imagine how it would be on that level. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm telling myself, if you can't handle it on this level, somebody, you get to being on TV all the time. Some man,
Right.
people can say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you never know. People, wow. You know what I mean? And sometimes people do say things just to see if they can get under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So we're just gonna go ahead and wrap up. I do again thank you for sitting down and having this conversation with me. I I know not a lot of basketball, just a little tiny bit. I'm more NFL than anything, but but I do know, and I have, like I said, I followed you for a while, I've seen your work. And congratulations on everything. If you decide to retire, congratulations on that as well.
yeah. Thank you.
Um, if someone wanted to, come to a free smoke tournament, or if they wanted to follow you or know more about it or anything, how would they be able to do that?
Yeah, you could just everything is on my page. It's at Terry Hosley. That's TerryHosley,
Mhm.
or the Free Smoke page. That's _free_smoke_tour. Yeah, and everything be posted there. All the updates and everything, like the way you get tickets, the matchups coming up, the next event afterwards. All of those things is there. We also have a YouTube page, just Free Smoke Tour. Just if anybody don't know, it's just the regular spelling, FREESMOKETOUR, and then you will see all our videos and updates and things like that. So
And one last thing before we go, if you can offer anyone any piece of advice, whether they're playing basketball, football, they want to be a writer, a producer, anything like that, as far as goals, what would that be?
don't procrastinate. Procrastination is so easy to happen. It happens to me sometimes, right?
To
Stop procrastinating and just keep chasing your dreams until your life is over, right? Don't ever stop, because like I'm so into like movies and things. I know actors that made their first million or got their first real role when they was 46, 45, right? It ain't
Mhm.
never over. You know what I mean? Keep on pushing. Live your regular responsible life,
Mhm.
but always find time to give your dreams some type of space in there, some type of way, and just keep pushing, man, no matter what.
Well, I thank you again for sitting down and having this conversation. I really did enjoy it, and also because I did ask you, and we did this thing kind of like in 2 days, and then I had to cancel it because they was doing work and stuff around here. But again, I do thank you for being receptive to the conversation, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you too. I appreciate you for reaching out.
No problem. And to everybody else, thank you for joining us tonight on the What a Man podcast. And I will see you next week. And I'm tying the show. Bye.
All right, bang, we out.
Yo, I had to stop and come to the hospital, yo. Yo, my heart. The doctors told me, go eat. Ain't nothing wrong with you. I said, doctor, my heart. They said, go eat. But doc, my heart. But go eat.